Welcome to the CryptoWave podcast, where we keep you up to date on the latest news, trends, and people that are making waves in crypto. Joining me here today, we have my co-hosts Jesse and Joey, and today we're going to talk about the catalysts that are sending the markets in the green and what Elon said today and some breaking news. We'll also review some metrics that we can track on the Bitcoin blockchain.
That sounds like an involved episode.
Yeah, we got lots of things to talk about today.
I like to start with the sea sucker jacket with the pocket square.
Thank you. Very nice.
The gold
on the eyes,
like
the bling.
bling.
Yeah. I also want to start with the second week in a row. We didn't lose our status, so we're co-hosts 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, you're right.
2 weeks in a row, not sidekicks.
Nice.
So
well, we
no
are
longer Shep and Curly. So
we're being fancy today because the market is rebounding back from some good news that we heard today.
Okay.
That's good news. We need to hear that.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that in a little bit. Just Elon Musk sending good vibes to the crypto universe.
I think that's the story.
Well, let's hear more about it.
I think so. Tell us, Jennifer.
All right. So today, Elon Musk and Jack Dorsey and Cathie Wood from ARK Investing had a conversation on the B word. So the B word is a Bitcoin-focused initiative that helps to have institutions embrace Bitcoin. So they had a discussion today, and Jack Dorsey actually invited Elon Musk on Twitter a couple of weeks ago to have this discussion. So we've been waiting patiently, and today was the day that they talked energy, clean energy, and just what Bitcoin has in the future.
And when we talk about the clean energy, we have to talk about that's about the mining, not about the smokestacks coming out of the factories. So we have to talk about the clean energy and the mining part of this.
Here's the thing. To get energy, to store it, it's going to take some kind of dirty. Right now, I mean, we just don't have any other option. You know, everybody's like, well, we need more batteries. Yeah, but how do you charge a battery? From nuclear, coal, or some other traditional energy source. Right. Well, and then how do you store them? Lithium. Lithium mining is filthy. It's horrible for the earth. It's a bad practice. So both charging the batteries and getting the raw material for the batteries for clean, because everything that they say clean, electric cars or all these different electric things, well, it's not a clean thing. It's still it traces back to some kind of dirty practice. So until the carbon footprint can be absolute, and I'm talking like grow a tree that stores energy, until we could do that, where it's
that's
absolutely
a magic garden.
Well, that's one thing that Elon did mention in their conversation.
Yeah.
He said that he had an idea of using space heaters that produce heat anyways and also run a node on the Bitcoin network. That was just an idea that he had. But being with Tesla, he has all of the infrastructure with the batteries and everything that he could come up with some sort of clean energy mining.
I just don't. I mean, I like the volcano idea. I think that's been the best one. But you just can't put servers, all of the servers on the blockchain, around the Ring of Fire, which is Central and South America, and then over to the Pacific, and Tokyo and Japan. You just can't put all the servers around volcanoes just to trap their heat. We will need liquid natural gas. We will continue to need coal. We will need continue to need these other energy sources.
Well, 50% of the mining hash power that was coming out of China has now been taken down, looking for a new home.
Right.
So they say that over 50% of Bitcoin mining is done with natural gas or natural and renewable energy. So it is cleaner. So Elon Musk did announce also that SpaceX owns Bitcoin, which that had never been said before.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
But Tesla did have Bitcoin.
Tesla purchased $1.5 billion back in March or so, I believe they announced it.
So that was big news.
Right.
Big news.
But now SpaceX, another of Elon's brands.
Yes. So he didn't announce when he purchased it, but probably 3 times he said that he owns Bitcoin, SpaceX owns Bitcoin, and Tesla.
We knew that. I'm sorry.
And he did also mention Dogecoin and Ethereum. So he said his companies do not own those, but personally he owns Dogecoin and Ethereum. He said it about 4 times, and he's never mentioned anything about Ethereum, and he's never publicly announced that he owned Dogecoin, even though he
I still don't think it's saying that you own it doesn't really pump it. If you say that you own 10 or 20% of it, then maybe. Or if you say I own 10% of it and I predict it's going to go here, and if it gets if
if you're Elon Musk, it pumps it.
If he offers more details, the last time he mentioned anything, it sunk.
It tanked.
It went the opposite way.
It tanked.
It went the opposite way because he didn't say the right thing. You just can't say I own.
Right.
Well, we all own.
So
what's so special about you owning it?
I'm going to jump in, and I'm gonna throw this off course, but we're talking about Elon here. Now, Elon, as you know, he's digging tunnels. You know this, right?
Yeah.
He's got the permission.
It's a boring
tunnel. He did it in L.A.
Right.
Now he's doing one
Las Vegas.
In Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Now
why is he building
It's
tunnels?
boring company.
It's a boring company. Now, not boring like, oh my God, this is so boring, but big, these, Dr. Evil boring things, But he's doing one in Fort Lauderdale now.
I've heard that.
What do you do under there?
Tunnels. It's like
what do you do in the tunnels?
It's like a speed tunnel, just to.
Well, it's not a speed. It's a high speed transit.
Oh,
right.
It's like an interstate, but under the ground.
So I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Think about this. If you get in the mind of him, because he thinks way outside.
Yeah, he's part alien. Yeah, we know that.
Right. So he's got SpaceX, and he's got.
Yeah.
Is any of this maybe related? Is he perhaps because he's underground and thinking of mining underground? And could this be something?
I don't know if that may be a little much.
Is this far fetched? I mean, it's something. It's
I just don't see why you would build underground tunnels for servers. I think it makes more sense to
protection.
No, let me finish.
Okay.
I think it makes more sense. Because there's probably going to be a toll associated if you want to use it. It's going to be something for the probably elite, or it's going to be for Tesla owners. I think that's the way in there. Either it's going to be high tax for non-renewable cars to go in there, or non-renewable energy cars to go in there. Probably they'll only allow battery cars or something equivalent, or I think they're going to have its own separate vehicle. Something that takes like 40 passengers and goes from like San Francisco to LA in like 20 minutes. Because that's the whole point. Is to just get people avoiding.
Well, on that note, it could be. I mean, the aim with the Tesla is to have self-driving, fully autonomous vehicles, but to add those onto the regular roads, it could be too risky. So maybe it's the development of
maybe
autonomous
the electric
vehicles.
Maybe the electric battery he's created. Maybe he's mining through the battery in the Tesla.
That's a great idea. Solar energy.
Solar energy using the battery.
My car makes Bitcoin. Weirder, outlandish things have happened.
Just having some fun, but think about it. All right, sorry.
So the reason why Bitcoin uses so much energy is there has to be some sort of output of work, proof of work to give it the value. So just like with gold mining, like the price of gold is correlated also with the amount of work and effort that it takes to mine the gold. So if you don't believe that there's value in Bitcoin, then essentially there's no argument that any amount of energy will be worth the expenditures. So that was one case that was kind of preluded to the conversation. So what gives the Bitcoin network its value is its network effect. So the network of how many computers.
And I like that analogy with precious metals. Because what also gives them the value is that they're very rare. You don't find them everywhere. It's not just walking down the street with a chisel and you got $1 worth of gold. It's, you have to find the vein, and you have to get the equipment, you have to get the manpower, you have to dig tunnels, it's an operation. So even if I worked all day to dig up asphalt along the road, I can't sell asphalt, blocks, no matter if it took me 5 hours to create that block of asphalt with a, chisel and a hammer and chisel, because it's available everywhere. It's abundant. Nobody's going to find it. So it doesn't, I don't think it equates. Work equals value. It's work plus
Scarcity
equals value. Because that's why Bitcoin is valuable, and it's at 30,000, whereas the Doges and other ones with no caps are still like very, very low value. There has to be an infinite amount of it in order for people to get excited about it and want a piece of it, because it is scarce, it is rare. That's why diamonds and precious jewels and metals still have significant value.
Yep, and that's what makes the Bitcoin network so valuable, is because the scarcity, like you said,
Right.
and there is a set schedule of the amount of Bitcoin that is able to be mined daily. So when you have that halving, like we talked about last week,
Right.
where the amount that is mined daily and rewarded to the blocks is
Right.
cut in half, you have a supply shock.
Exactly.
So that sends the value soaring.
And 2024 is the next halving.
Yep.
Yeah, 2 more years. So this is the word. You better get as much as possible, and that's not a pump and dump. It's just it's just what it is, And I think people are still predicting 100,000
By the end of this year.
by the end of this year. So
Yeah.
we still have a lot of work to do.
Yep.
It's
Well,
about 300% more.
It's been looking a little bit shaky over the past couple of months. And, with today's news, luckily
Right.
we were able to raise back above 30,000. So right now, Bitcoin is at about 32,000. It's up 8.5%. Ethereum is at just under 2,000, up almost 12%
And that's for today.
for the day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not sure, how things are shaking up. I just know that if I had the money last night when everything was deep red, because my portfolio lost about 5%, and I was like, well, this is when you buy, and I just didn't have the cash to do it. So instead of re-upping, I just watched it this morning just climb right up, and I'm like, I missed another rise. But again, this has been the feature. Yeah.
Ebb and flow.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned last week all these memes that you see. I'm always on Instagram, as you guys know, because I'm always screenshotting these ridiculous cartoons. But I don't know if I sent you this one. I think I mentioned it last week, where right now Bitcoin's at 30,000. We're at 30,000, and someone writes, "Well, gee, what's it going to be when it hits 100,000?" And you go, "Why didn't I buy the 30,000?" And you
Right.
look back and you go, "Geez, that was only 30,000. How
Yeah.
cheap!" Right? You look at that and you go, "Oh, how cheap!"
Absolutely.
It's just like it's like anything else.
It's
I
about
could,
60% on sale
That's
today
why I keep
compared to
buying my
Thai.
Shibu at 0.000000000.
All right. Well, to close out the Elon news, Elon did say that Tesla does plan to accept Bitcoin once again after doing due diligence on the mining. So moving forward, now that the mining is getting more clean, especially on the China news, that China's operations have been shut down. So he announced Tesla will again accept Bitcoin for payment later.
Later.
Not yet, but they plan to.
soon.
Yes.
One more thing before we close out Elon. His freight, the big freight trucks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they call them, but the commercial freight trucks, right? He's building a version of Tesla version.
Semi
Yeah,
trailers.
yeah, however you want to call it. Yeah. So not the tractor trailers, but the actual trucks themselves that pull the tractor trailers. So these are the again the big semis that we all know, the big
cabin.
Mack trucks.
I gotcha.
Yeah, and so they've been developing a commercial grade electric vehicle to replace all of the big trucks, because
Maybe those will go in the tunnels.
it's not our 4 cylinders or 6 cylinders or even V8s that are causing what they want you to believe, like, oh, you have something to do with global warming and that you have to reduce your footprint. Okay, it's a 4-cylinder. I go through 10 gallons in a 2-week period. It's probably not the small guys. It's these big freight trucks that run 24 hours a day. They may rest like 6 hours, but these guys are it's all about mileage, and the more miles they could do in a week, the more they get paid. So they're only stopping for just a necessity. I think by law they have to rest. But these guys are doing miles, 50 cents, whatever a mile. Those trucks are burning so much more fuel. They run on diesel, which is a much more dirtier kind of fuel. Those are really significant. Those, and of course airplane traffic. Well, let's be honest. You want to cut down on global warming or the effects of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. It's the big trucks, it's the big boats, it's the big airliners. That's the contributors, not our little personal vehicles, our lawnmowers and everything else. Okay, so when they say it's about clean energy, well, let's focus on the biggest polluters, and it's not even really America. It's more India and China.
Right.
And it's the rocket's going up. Like, let's be honest. Like, that's a lot.
Oh, Jeff Bezos.
No, Bezos. Apparently, it was liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen as a propellant. Which, guess what? It creates the byproduct, like steam.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. So that new Boeing engine that they use is very, very efficient and low.
Oh, well, thanks, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. Well, thanks Boeing. He just used their engine for his rocket.
Yeah.
But there's some significance going there. So by having Tesla make these big freighters now, these semi trucks for freight, that would ideally really reduce a lot of emissions, from the fossil fuels.
Yeah.
There's still the dirty lithium batteries, or however they're getting their lithium, and there's still you still have to charge it by plugging it into a wall that's mostly powered probably by fossil fuels. So we're not really getting away from that, but it's at least a little bit more.
Yeah, and being more conscious about it.
If anything, it's going to have the same technology as other Teslas. And of course he still has that truck coming out, which is very exciting. But once these semis start to hit the road, man, you could almost like remote control them. Like, I don't think there's going to need to be a pilot. Like, they're all just going to kind of like, you're going to see a caravan of them all, because they're all going to want to get together and just form like a real big,
Well, yeah, and
Domino's is already doing
caravan.
that, delivering the pizza.
Yeah.
See the
with
Domino's
the robot?
commercial? You see the Domino's commercial?
With the robot.
Yeah.
Oh.
But anyway, so this is going to be Tesla's, big thing. And again, a little off topic, but because Elon is such a big force, and listen, if he's accepting Bitcoins for that, who knows? Maybe some of these other big distributors of commercial goods will be using those Tesla, vehicles as well to have freight shipped around, which again may be a lot safer. No tired pilots, or drivers, and they still have the features, where it stops if it sees anything in front of it, or won't change lanes if it notices anything. So as far as traffic avoidance, and maybe we'll just start to see safer roads. I'm really hoping.
If you think about it, our military does a lot of things by drones. They're sitting in a bunker somewhere in the middle in Kansas City and sending off these. Sending off these planes to the Middle East.
You're talking about the pilots. The drone pilots. Okay, I was wondering where you're going with that.
Sorry, we're doing it now in the military.
Absolutely.
We're seeing it. I think Google has Google's
But traffic,
yeah.
let's be honest, is pretty predictable.
Right.
I think the most boring, even though we're going 80, it's still very boring. Like, you get behind somebody, you just draft, and it's just like you're counting down the miles, and it's just it's a straight shot. There's no like weird things that are happening. You don't stop unless you get off the exit. There's no like stop and go like things. You're just, once you get on, you just go. So it's very predictable.
Right.
I think highway traffic is very predictable. Everybody's just going like between 70 and 90, maybe, if you're following me. But everybody's going like a predictable speed. And as long as people use their indicators or whatever else, and but with the use of mirrors and or at least the cameras, around the vehicle, like a truck could pretty much go by itself. All you gotta do is like
the end of the truck driver.
It's almost like you're winding back, and you just let it go, and it just goes in a straight line all the way from destination to destination.
My car has the radar built in, so I get close, it beeps, beep 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 when someone's in front of you, and it brakes for you. You set it so it automatically brakes when you set
those things.
You set the distance, so there's a sensor already. We have that technology.
Yeah.
I'm not a car guy.
I got the lane detection, on a car that I recently drove, and it doesn't even let you Like get tired. I mean, as soon as you start to get
the little coffee cup pops up and said, "You're fatigued. Pull over."
Get some coffee.
No, I'm just a bad driver.
I'm just distracted. I'm watching Instagram, looking at memes about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Hey, very interesting. The timing.
I think we're killing all this.
Sorry.
So the timing of
Yeah.
this the B word conference that they had is very interesting because next week Tesla has their earning reports.
Oh.
So they will be listing their earnings, sharing their earnings. So I believe the last time that he had earnings, Elon sold 10% of his Bitcoin holdings just to increase revenue, increase earnings. So just interesting on the timing. Cathie Woods also, she runs ARK Invest, a large fund, and she has a lot of Tesla and tech stocks, and she bought 60 million in Square, which Jack Dorsey was there also.
Square
CEO
Inc., which
Square.
is the point of
Payment
sale
Point of
system,
sale.
right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So
I just want to clarify that for our listeners.
Yes. So just interesting on the timing and how they all are scratching each other's backs.
Well, you said Cathie.
Cathie Wood.
If this Cathie Wood, who owns Square, can talk to the people at Square,
Jack
then
Dorsey owns Square.
That's why I'll never use it. Screwball.
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't have a popular place where people want to share ideas and then censor people. That's not how it works.
So I'm curious to see what did Jack Dorsey say about all this. You know, we've been talking about what Elon has said, but we're not really hearing.
So
much
I know Jack Dorsey. He
just wants his hands in everything,
and everything,
so he could
just so that he can manipulate the world.
probably.
he is a believer in Bitcoin, and he claims to want to create a decentralized.
I got something to say.
Let it go.
I don't need a celebrity to believe in it for it to be real.
Buy
like
it.
when they're like, oh, I believe in it. Like, I don't need a celebrity endorsement. I know it's real. I trade it all the time.
We have a show.
There's no. Well, if he says he believes in it, then it must be real. Like this is something where people are watching. You don't need your celebrity friends or whatever to tell you if something's real or not. Like that's not how it works in this world, you know. But the more these high-profile people get on board, now it's more believable. No, it's always existed. Right. There's millions of people that own it, but again, we're in that and this is I think just a really big brain block that most people have, where it's not, if they can't touch it and they don't know anything about it. All it takes is like an Oprah, a Michael Jackson, or other celebrity to say, yeah, it's real, and you could have some too. Like no. Like we need to get away from that mental block that we need a celebrity who has no fucking brains. I'm sorry, you know. But I mean, honestly, they're paid to sing or act or dance. You know, right. I mean, I don't need them to tell me.
Jack Dorsey says that my hope. This is a quote. My hope is that it creates world peace or helps create world peace.
Oh, what a bunch of bullshit!
World peace.
World peace.
You just put a can of peas in the blender. World peace.
He must have watched Miss Congeniality. What a bunch of crap that is. I mean, honestly, world peace.
This is why I don't listen to these.
All
idiots.
these influencers, they're nothing but crap.
Well,
really.
they think the air out of their mouth means more.
Means nothing to me now.
Means more.
Means less to me when he talks.
No, they're
it means less.
I turn them off.
Yeah,
I'm
done. Done with him.
You know, you don't put 10 million users or whatever else on a platform and then decide who gets their voice and who doesn't. It makes no sense because he's just playing to the mental block that I'm going to.
Right.
You know, you get a blue check mark, so you're more believable. Like no, screw you.
No, go pound sand.
Everybody's thoughts are original and need respect. And for you to say, well, no, I'm going to shadow ban you and I'm going to cancel you, or no, it's
I'm a member.
I don't need people like that in my life.
No, I'm a member of the press. I have a difficulty getting insurance because of how some articles are written versus what he can go through. So no, I think it's crap. What he could get away with and what I could get away with, no.
It's two different rules.
It's two different rules.
Right.
That ain't working in my world. Yeah. I don't even follow Twitter anymore.
No, I canceled all my accounts.
I canceled all my stuff on Twitter. When I got the new phone, I never, they said put in your password. No, go.
I know, and
I forgot it permanently.
And I know I got some smart people like, well, you guys are putting this on YouTube, which I get.
Yes, we get it.
Not any better. Not any better.
Yeah.
Right.
Google, Alphabet, you're all guilty.
Right.
You know, and again, I don't need Google to say, well, we bought Bitcoin, so should you. I don't need Elon to say, I bought Bitcoin, so should you. It like, right. And then I'll get off this horse because I've been beating it to death. But yeah, listen, folks, it's real. You don't need celebrity endorsements. This Bitcoin is going to exist whether you believe it or not. So whether it takes me or Jennifer or Joey to tell you, it's real, hopefully that's enough. But if not, if a Jack Dorsey or a Zuckerberg or Elon needs to tell you that this is something that you guys should look into, then so be it. They did. So what are you waiting for now, right?
Well,
how many more endorsements?
His company is developing a decentralized financial service and product. So when we come back from our break,
that's scary.
Yeah.
We'll talk when we come back from our break, we'll talk a little bit more about decentralized finance and how it is the big buzz this week.
Yeah.
Cryptocurrency can be confusing and hard. At Space Coast Crypto Consulting, we make cryptocurrency easy for you to learn and understand. In a world of uncertainty and out-of-control central banks, it's our mission to empower you with the knowledge that you need to confidently control and grow your own crypto portfolio. Call now to begin your crypto journey. 321-412-4021. That's Space Coast Crypto Consulting at 321-412-4021.
Welcome back. Boy, oh boy, was that first segment wild one. We used profanity. That's how wild that got. Holy crap.
I apologize. Yeah.
No.
By the way, the show is never intended for an audience of kids.
Not with me around. Anyway, wow. That was so much fun if you were here. Goes to show you.
Well, I had to go on a rant.
No, that's fine. That's exactly what the show is about. We talk about it. We try and talk about everything. Make this whole crypto world. We try and make it fun. We try and make it entertaining. Try and educate everybody.
Yeah.
This second segment, we're going to be talking about decentralizing finance. DeFi is the acronym, I guess you would call it.
Yeah,
acronym?
so it's DeFi.
DeFi. We're going to go into DeFi. I'm going to segue over to Jennifer because she's the brain trust of all of us, and she yelled at us all through the commercial breaks. So Jesse and I have a timeout.
I gotta keep these guys in line and focused. All right, so DeFi is decentralized finance, and basically we are in the very beginning infancy stages of building an entire financial system alongside the traditional financial system that is decentralized. So this means that we will no longer need a trusted third-party intermediary to transact. So DeFi offers services, banking services like borrowing, lending, and earning interest. So earning interest on your crypto accounts. So some big news that was announced this week: Grayscale launched a DeFi fund, including some top DeFi projects. So they have about 10 different DeFi, whether they're protocols or exchanges or coins that are listed in their index fund for DeFi. So Uniswap was the top one that has about 49.95% of the fund, and then there were about 9 others that are mixed in the basket as well. But just huge news. Moving forward, this is the very beginning stages of something that's going to be big, and the banks are going to be shitting their pants. Sorry.
Go for it, Jen.
We opened up a Pandora's box. This is getting...
Took the 5th episode.
Wow.
S-bombs now.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, once they see the impact that this is going to have, this could essentially, take over what the banks have been doing. And
the banks... reply is
F you.
Right.
Well,
so this is the disruptor. that we
it's
were
a
counting on.
This is the disruptive technology. And with every disruptive technology, I mean, we've seen it throughout history. The train stations, they used to hand out pamphlets about if you took an airplane that your whole body would implode. And the post office, they were lobbying against email. And what other
I remember
disruptive
that.
technology is there?
Well, we went from
Blockbuster to
Blockbuster.
Netflix.
to Netflix. Yes.
Uber, disrupted taxis.
Yeah,
We've seen
so-
we've seen it a lot.
I mean, with any disruptive, impactful technology like this, there's going to be some pushback, and this kind of can take over what the financial and banking services have been doing. Yeah.
Well, and not for nothing, but the banks have had just too long.
They've done it to themselves.
They have.
You're making 0.0%
Yeah.
on money, and you look on some of these funds or wallets, and you can make 3, 4, 5% on your money.
Oh, you
Why
can make 5, 10, 15, 20% interest back on your money. So it's an amazing time to get involved in DeFi.
You're right. Banks did it to themselves. There was a time when you could go in and there was cash. Now there's no hardly any cash. You can't deposit more than $2,000 without a written letter from the IRS or whatever. I mean, it's too many flipping rules.
Yeah.
Right.
And they don't offer any services. Free checking, it's not really free. As soon as you go over, $2 for an ATM charge on your account, and you get into negative,
It's a $39 charge immediately.
Yeah, you're finishing, my thought, but exactly, it's a $40 tax, so it's not free.
Right.
I'm paying $40 on a $2 overage. Where's that fair? It's not. Do me a favor, because you're also holding, my auto loan. You're also probably holding a mortgage. You don't think my money's good for it? I got collateral already invested with you,
Well,
but
and
it's not. It's never enough.
That's the great thing about decentralized finance is
Right.
there's no middle person that's collecting their little fees, nickel and diming you.
Exactly.
And you can send money across the world. You could send hundreds of millions of dollars for close to nothing. I mean, you try to do that here, you have to wait weeks, you have to get approval, you get denied.
Well, you got the DEA, you got the FBI. Everybody wants to know why do you need $10,000?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Try
Are you
to
flight risk?
withdraw
You
$10,000
can't do it.
You
of
can't.
your own
You can't do
money.
it.
It's not. You have to deposit minimum anything over $10,000. You have to fill out a form.
Right.
Certain banks, Jesse and I bank. We use the same bank, but that's a little
how
different.
cute.
I know. But anyway,
That's we discovered that after we knew each other.
after we knew each other.
I actually believe I bank there too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
What's the initials?
SCCU?
No.
Oh.
So
Never mind. Now
but
everybody knows
It's
where I
a,
bank.
it's a private bank. There's only one branch in our county.
Oh,
but
okay.
if I went to
I
another
won't tell
branch
anybody it's private.
for one of my workers,
Right.
and I wanted to put cash into their account,
Nope.
I cannot do it.
Nope.
Unless you're,
Right.
Wells Fargo for sure. If I wanted to just make a payment and say, look, I'm just going to put it in your account today. It's just easier than me writing a check. I'm just going to throw that money into the account. You cannot do it.
Hey,
Yeah.
what if you go to the bank and
So-
you want to take out $5,000 of your own money?
You can't do it.
You have a bank manager coming out saying, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
What do you need this money for?"
Wait, you
it's
have
your own money.
That's another. You have $5,000 in your account.
I do.
For
No, I'm kidding.
but yeah, it's gonna. They're gonna give you some runaround.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to get it from the Treasury. I got to order it from a Brinks truck or something. They got to bring it. It's like, well,
You're a
you
bank.
You have nothing.
You're a
I
bank.
mean, they haven't used, just like Fort Knox has no gold. Banks have no vault. The vault is just safety deposit boxes. There's no other function of a vault no more. There is no cash. Cash is a fiction. The people who do carry it around, you're almost it's almost like a how do you say, like a poor man's like flag. Like, look what I got.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the longer you hold on to it, the more it's depreciating. So you're just like, look at my dollar. Now it's worth half a dollar. Now it's worth
Yeah.
a quarter of a dollar.
Ray Dalio
And-
says cash is trash.
And
Cash is
change.
trash.
Forget about change. Change is scarce.
Okay, off topic.
Sorry.
Okay.
God damn. We are so bad today. I'm so sorry, guys, trying to listen. Remember the coin shortage of 2020?
Yeah.
I drove to a Burger King and drive-through, and in the window, sorry, no change given. By the way, if you have low denomination change, we could, use it. So, please give exact change. No change will be returned. I'm like, and this is when I know they're going off the tracks. I was like, have you even consulted with most of Americans? I probably got a handful of quarters under my seat in this car. Most of us have a 5-gallon water thing, filled with loose change for that, that vacation one day. Am I talking to you guys?
Yes.
Haven't we all done this? Who consulted the rest of us and said there was a coin shortage? I think we could all muster up, shake out our Christians and our couch, and everybody can, and collectively, here.
Right.
Problem solved. But nobody did that. No. They're just we're just not giving away, change because it's worthless. It's not worth the metal
effort
that it's printed on anymore.
Yeah, I think that there's a metaphor for that. Maybe it's the government collecting it all, trying to get it out of circulation.
They are. Well, that's
getting everybody used to not having it. And think about the toilet paper too. What did I just say? Cash is trash. Toilet paper is trash. Just throw it away. Shortage of toilet paper.
That was
the
a
government
test.
has
That's a test.
Yeah. The government has some tricky metaphors.
So here's the thing. It's just going to go. It's just going to become the dollar bill and the $5 bill, and it's just going to go to all the lower increments until there is no cash. They want a cashless society. They start with the coins,
and they could track us.
They start with the coins, Well, because if some of the people who idolize China in the way that they corral and regulate their citizenry, and trust me, there's a contingent here of people, especially politicians, who would love nothing but more and more absolute power. And in order to do that, you talk crap about them. Well, guess what? There is no cash.
Right.
There is no precious metal to exchange. We've gone from those primitive ways of dealing and trading and bartering, and now it is. And this is kind of oh, he's got the tinfoil hat on now. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, hear me out. Okay. Say tinfoil hat is on. They already do this in China.
Yeah.
Right. You have a social score. You talk bad about the government, they suspend all of your finances because it's all digital. It's all regulated by the central banks of China. If you talk crap, if you want to have an uprising, if you just picket, the local legislative branch, I don't know what China looks like. I don't think they have state capitals or anything like that. But let's just say you just get on a soapbox and you're causing a little bit, and you got a journalist who's now publicizing it to the world. Guess what? Not only are they going to be found,
down.
Well, they've already tried to, they've already imprisoned a bunch of whistleblowers from COVID originally,
right,
in Wuhan, who knew that this was not a bat, but they're all dead. They're all dead, and you'll never hear from them again. And that's how the Chinese government controls their information. And because they've, the citizenry now, of course, they're all subject to the power of the government. And when you could have your Bitcoin account or whatever else disabled, that's pretty dangerous, right?
Right.
You'll probably shut the hell up if you knew that you couldn't spend money today, right?
So the communist Chinese
it's a way to silence,
government, they plan to officially launch their digital currency at the 2022 Winter Olympics in Beijing. So actually this week, Senator Cynthia Lumens spoke and said that we cannot allow American athletes to be used as a Trojan horse to increase the Chinese Communist Party ability to spy on the United States. So
they already are.
So basically, they want to make sure that no American athletes download this digital wallet to be exposed to their digital currency.
Well, the writing's on the wall. That's why China doesn't want all these miners and everything else. They want their own digital currency.
They have it. They've already been piloting it. It's being rolled out at the Olympics.
But they had to get rid of all the other traditional crypto altcoins, and Bitcoin, all the other mining operations, because it
interferes with their operation.
It's not conducive to what they want to do, which is have one currency for the Chinese people. Because again, if you shut down someone's account, but they still have a crypto.com or a Binance, or and they're able to still have means of getting support from other people, or at least just, survive while they're going through whatever atrocity the government's putting them through, then that's not how they want it to work. They want you to be completely subject, meaning like your car is like automized. That's why I don't really, haven't gotten like really 100% behind electric cars, or that whole OnStar thing. That's just one way that they could disable. If they could turn on your engine, they could turn it off.
Yes.
Okay. And if you're able to be controlled by a mainframe or some other kind of software that you don't control, then guess what? They could disable your car. You can't turn on. You can't turn it off. It's disabled. They could lock you in. Just think of all the things again.
Right.
Tinfoil hat. But aren't you guys concerned about this as well? It could just be me.
It's happening in slow motion in front of everybody's face.
Right.
Exactly. And, you talk about, which we had in our show notes,
right.
We were going to be talking about the Chinese and the yuan. Is that what it's called? Yuan?
The digital yuan.
Yuan? Yuan. We had that in our digital notes. So this is a nice segue. And, we've talked about it under the previous administration. He talked about the Chinese, manipulating their currency.
Right.
And you can see now with them changing to Bitcoin, that's exactly what it is they can't, with regular Bitcoin and altcoin, they can't control their subjects, and that's what they are. They could not control them. So,
well, what a favor they did for us, though, for the United States. I mean, they had 50% or more of the hash power for the Bitcoin network. Now that they've shut it down, a majority of that is moving to the U.S. and other states. So they've kind of screwed themselves.
I have a question on that. How did they get 50% of that?
They were not colluded networks. Like, they were not in cahoots together mining Bitcoin. It was distributed throughout different parts of China.
I think it's just a numbers game. They have half of the population of the world.
So just the random people.
So it just makes more sense that they have half of the.
Just people in their huts just decided they were gonna.
Oh, they're not in huts.
You know what I'm talking
Jesus
about.
Chinese huts.
Wuhan
is a city of 10 million people.
I know. I've seen the building.
Yeah.
Not personally, on TV.
Beijing, Shanghai, like these are big metropolises, like big, like dominating, cities. No, there's billion people, 3 billion people now, I think, in China. So it just makes sense. It's just relative. We're not even half a billion people in America. We're at 300 million or something, right?
Yeah, I think it's like.
And so that's a fraction of the people in China. So, we outnumber a lot of other metrics, firearms, for instance, we outnumber everybody, like every other country in the world. Thank God.
True. Thank God.
Now, in other terms, in other metrics, other countries dominate. Okay. Mm-hmm. And one of them was, the mining ability from China. And of course there's other, I think Russia and some others, are also getting more and more involved and upping up their games. But what I've also heard is one of these Chinese generals just bought a bunch of land outside of an airport in Texas. And he plans on building a farm.
Yes, and I read that about the Chinese buying up a lot of American farms. Yeah. And I think Congress is starting to put a hold on that.
Well, hopefully. Because how far are we going to let them go?
Because they're going to control our food supply.
Well, why do you think Gates is the biggest farm landowner of 250,000 acres? What do you think?
Control the food, control the people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
anyway. So I can't wait to see the comments blow up.
Oh, I know.
Please praise Gates. I just want to see what you guys really think of him, because I have some.
There's some stuff coming
very
out.
Bad
there's some stuff really coming out about him and all. He just did something with George Soros, who we talked about a few weeks ago. They're in cahoots on something that they just purchased.
Well,
together.
they're all globalists.
Yeah, there's something those two just bought together.
Right.
Pretty interesting stuff going on. You know, and everybody got to.
But I don't trust anybody who buys 250,000 acres of farmland.
Yeah, what are you gonna do with it, really?
Like you can't maintain it yourself.
No.
So what are you gonna do with it?
You're asking me. Look at the jacket I'm wearing. What do I know about farming?
I'm a seersucker, not an ear shucker.
Yeah.
Right? I just came up with that.
I don't even go down the produce aisle in
Oh,
Publix.
You don't believe in salads, do you?
Nate, do I look like I eat a salad? You see me have lunch.
Show me a bag of donuts.
Did you ever see me order a salad?
No.
No, you like kale. I don't like kale.
I
All
like
right.
kale. All right. So to close things out, I'm going to share some useful links that you can find some nice
cool.
Oh, thank you.
on-chain metrics. So what's really great about the Bitcoin network is that everything's so transparent that you can see all transactions that happen on-chain. So on the Bitcoin blockchain, you can see things like the age of a coin that was purchased, the large wallets, small wallets. So one site that I like to use is glassnode.com. And on glassnode.com, you can register. They have a newsletter that actually breaks the charts down. So you don't even have to know how to read them. It breaks down metrics, like I said, like whale accounts. You can see if there's large inflows of coins that are coming back onto the network from exchanges. So that means that there's about to be movements that are being made. So lots of really useful information. So glassnode.com is a really great on-chain metrics analysis site. Another site that is good to...
I'm sorry. Can you spell that?
Glassnode, Glassnode.
Because I was hearing like known or no or
Glassnode.
Node, okay.
Yeah, so everything is so transparent. You can see everything that happens on the blockchain. So you
Cool
can
site.
see movements like as they're being done, and it all comes down to averages and mathematics, and it gives you some great insight as to what is actually happening. So another site is actually, this is not a site. You'll just have to Google it. But it's the Fear and Greed Index. So today we're at a 10 for fear. So the market is in fear. When we were at
greed, wow.
64,000, we were at extreme greed. So those can also call some tops and bottoms of the market. So when we're at extreme fear, in history, in the past, that has called like the bottoms that we could rebound. So Warren Buffett, he says, what does he say? No, it was a Baron Rothschild. He says, buy when there's blood in the streets, even if the blood is your own. So you can use the Fear and Greed Index to try to play the market psychology.
What's that site again?
That is that's the Fear and Greed Index. You'll have to Google it. I think it's on different sites. Like it's on different like market cap sites that you can check.
So 10
markets.
is bad. 64,000 is good. That's the range. That's what you're telling me?
No, it's a 1 to 10.
Oh, 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or no, it's a 100%. It's out of 100%.
1 to 100.
1 to 1. Okay. You sure about this?
No.
64,000. Well, I mean, that's a pretty...
64,000,
random
that
number.
was the all-time high
Oh, okay.
of Bitcoin. Yes. So it's just another another metric that you can look at to try to read the psychology of the market.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Fun.
Very cool. That's a fun one. That's a fun one. Maybe we should use that on a weekly, the fear factor.
The
Yeah.
fear.
The fear factor.
I think Mr. Rogan has
Oh, that's
like rights and it's probably licensed, because that's a very popular game show for those who don't know.
That's
Fear
true.
Factor, yeah.
Yes.
I never watched it.
What? You never watched someone
t-
digest pickled,
No,
fermented,
no.
goat tongue?
No. It's
Oh, it was so bad.
probably opposite Family Guy, and I would rather watch Family Guy.
Yes, who would?
All right, guys. Well, thanks for a great show. We had a lot of fun talking about Elon Musk, talking about energy consumption, talking about
World politics.
world
Everything.
politics.
If Jesse and I are in the gulag next week,
Jesse
you know
had
why.
his tinfoil hat on. And if you would like to find out more about crypto, you can contact me at spacecoastcryptoconsulting.com. Please like and share our video on YouTube. And hit the bell notification to be alerted for all of our videos. And you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And
Yeah, where else are we?
Um,
That's about it, right?
I
And
think
coming
we're gonna-
soon, maybe TikTok.
And TikTok
and maybe
coming soon.
Instagram. We're trying to figure out Instagram, but otherwise, everybody have a great week. Have fun, enjoy life. Life's too short.
We're
have a good
figuring
time.
it out.
Have a good time.
And pray for an increase in Shiba Inu.
And Shibu, please
For
pray
Joey's sake.
Shibu.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.